Hello and welcome to the third day of the 6-day challenge for conversation in Parisian French. My name is Llyane Stanfield, and you are looking right now at the Facebook page, Learn Parisian French on Skype with Llyane Stanfield. Some 27,000 people are on that page, and I'm so thrilled to have probably you are one of the fans of the page. If you're not, you better come in because it's a really fun page. And just wanted to introduce first what this challenge is about. 6 days, you will have a little video, very short videos, under 15 minutes. I'm trying to keep them short. If you are live right now, please send me questions. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have. But because Periscope didn't work for the first couple of videos, I decided to do Google Hangouts. And so, but if you are live and if you're on the Facebook page, please go ahead and send me questions. The first 2 days, we talked about l'imparfait and le passé composé. And so my goal here is to encourage you to make conversation from day one. If you are a beginner, make conversation. If you know just 10 words and 2 verbs, make conversation. If you think that you can't make conversation, that is when you want to make conversation. So find someone, practice on your own. Of course, at the beginning, make sentences, do this, to create this environment where you start with conversation and then include the information that you're learning from courses, I don't know, the software, wherever you're learning French. I am here to tell you that you don't have to wait for a certain level. You don't have to achieve a certain level of knowledge of the language to actually start making conversation in French. And so this challenge is for you to start making conversation with the some very basic elements of French grammar. And because I have received a lot of questions about imparfait, passé composé, I want to make this particular challenge about the past. And the first 2 days we had l'imparfait, and we had homework for with l'imparfait. Second day we had passé composé, we had homework for passé composé. And if you came here to follow this challenge, welcome. Again, my name is Llyane Stanfield, and you can find me, and I'm going to show you the website. You can find me on Facebook first. Please go ahead and like the page. But if you want to follow this challenge, go on Go on ParisianFrench.com. ParisianFrench.com. This is the website that you can find. Learn Parisian French online.com. This is where you find all the information about my method. But when you go to ParisianFrench.com, which I suggest that you do, now you're going to receive all these videos of this challenge, of the conversation challenge. And also, you'll qualify for some 19 Skype classes for free with me when you register, when you join the intensive program, if you qualify. So just by joining this challenge, you qualify for 19 free Skype classes with me inside of the intensive program. So again, my name is Llyane Stanfield. Please share this video with your friends. Let them know that there is a way to make conversation without knowing the entire French language before. Actually, it is much better to start making conversation with a very reduced vocabulary and grammar, because then all the new information that comes your way is going to be incorporated into conversation that you already made yourself comfortable with, meaning that instead of making French a subject of your study, make French a tool for your self-expression. Be the quirky you, be yourself, make friends, and if you use a more reduced vocabulary or a more simple grammar, that does not mean that you cannot make conversation as a beginner. So let's start today. Is day 3, and this is going to be very, very short, so I'm going to give you a little bit of information. That's the core information that you need in order to use it, and then exercises. So let me show you what I have prepared for you. So this is what I've prepared for you. Yes, you can see. Oh, but this is the ending. You don't want to go from the ending. So let's go from the top. So because the first 2 days we talked about imparfait and passé composé, today I would like to show you how to use, or when do we use passé composé, when do we use imparfait. A lot of people have a little trouble with it, and I just want to show you how simple it can be. And you actually saw the rule of thumb right at the beginning, which was my ending of today's little video. But that is actually what I would like you to remember, and we'll get there as I'm going to explain a little bit. So, l'imparfait sets the stage for an event expressed with passé composé. That is the main difference. Of course, there are others, but this is probably the most used, I guess, the most way those tenses are used. So, let's see how it can actually come up in conversation. Incomplete versus complete. Imparfait is incomplete. Passé composé is complete. So j'allais en France. I was going in France. Je visitais des monuments et prenais des photos. I was visiting. I was taking pictures, right? And passé composé. Je suis allée en France. I went. I don't like translations here. So I went to France. J'ai visité des monuments et pris des photos. I visited and I took, right? So j'allais en France. I'm gonna show you further down how that can be used. So it can be habitual versus occasional. Habitual is imparfait. Occasional is passé composé. So habitual, je voyageais en France tous les ans, right? So I had the habit of doing this every year to travel in France. Je visitais souvent le Louvre. I was visiting often, right? The passé composé, just a single event, isolated, occasional. J'ai voyagé en France l'année dernière. Let me just see if you can see this right. Yep, you can. Excellent. J'ai voyagé en France l'année dernière, one time, a one-off event. J'ai visité le Louvre 3 fois, 3 times. You know, occasional is a limited number of times. It's not something describable as a habit. Then ongoing versus new. Imparfait is ongoing. You guessed. J'avais peur des chiens. J'aimais les épinards. Ongoing. Passé composé is new. J'ai peur quand le chien, pardon, j'ai eu peur quand le chien a aboyé. Pour la première fois, j'ai aimé les épinards. Right? To something new, it's an isolated event. I don't want to give too much. Okay, the most important, another one that is really, really important, background versus interruption. J'étais à la banque quand Chirac est arrivé. I was at the bank when Chirac arrived. Je vivais en Espagne quand je l'ai trouvé. I was living in Spain when I found it, right? J'étais à la banque quand Chirac est arrivé. J'étais à la banque is a longer event, is the background that's what we were talking about at the very beginning. Je vivais en Espagne, definitely, you know, longer event. quand je l'ai trouvé. J'ai trouvé is an instant. Il est arrivé is an instant. Just remember that. So the background is imparfait and the isolated event is passé composé. What I would like to give you is the rule of thumb, which is so important, because I would like to talk just quickly to give you a tip for translation. So a lot of people try to think in French and to avoid thinking in English when they learn speaking French. Problem with that, there are two problems here. So first of all, English and French have so much in common. We have 40% words in common. A lot of the phrase structure in English and in French are very similar. And that's the first point. So you literally are not allowing yourself to use such a wealth of information that comes from English, that comes naturally. Your brain is anyway thinking in English. You want or you don't, you like or you don't. Your brain, our brain, is thinking in the mother tongue because that's a fact. Now, the only time you do not think in your mother tongue is if you speak too long and too fast. Again, I'm going to repeat this. We think in another language only if we speak too long or too fast in that second language. The brain is going to shift from a survival mechanism from mother tongue to acquired language only if it's forced to, just like any muscle. So you cannot think in French if you are not speaking at a certain level. If you are a beginner, there's no way to think in French, and there's no point to force yourself to think in French because you don't allow yourself to use the similarities between English and French. So what I do recommend is this. Do use intentionally your mother tongue. Intentionally use English as you learn French. And as you shift from majority speaking English to majority of speaking in French, when you shift from, mother tongue to acquired language, and when you get to a certain speed of your speech in French, that's when your brain is going to decide whether it will think in French or not. So thinking in French is a consequence. It should not be a goal. If it's a goal, you limit yourself and you stress yourself without any good results, I might add. So my rule of thumb. L'imparfait is used when in English we'd use the form I used to or I was ing form of the verb. So when I say I used to go, j'allais. I was going, j'allais, right? So yeah, why don't I give actually examples here? So for instance here, I used to go equals j'allais. And here I was going, j'allais, okay? I'm using the same verb. That really is not important. What is important is whenever in your mind you are making the phrase in English using these two verbs, I used to or I was ing, that is the rule of thumb. Why am I calling this the rule of thumb? Because in conversation, we cannot allow ourselves to think. If we think, we don't speak anymore. The other person will take over the conversation. And because I encourage you to make conversation, even if you're a beginner, then you really need some rule of thumb, as in like, well, I don't need to think too much, but I know these little things, these little rules that are going to help me in not having to think about all these other rules that I said before, the 4 rules that I actually described before. Right? So yes, learn all the rules, learn all the situations that occur, when do we use imparfait and so on, of course. But what I'm giving you here is just like a cheat sheet, right? A rule of thumb that, okay, so I know those four, but if those four don't come to mind as I make the conversation, then we'll remember the rule of thumb, and I will use imparfait every time those two situations occur. Now, this was it. I'm looking for, waiting for questions from you guys because this is actually live. And so if you have the replay, if you're watching the replay, absolutely go to parisianfrench.com and subscribe in order to have access to all the 6 videos, and also to have access to what I'm showing to you here. This is April special. So April special is, well, a special that is available in the month of April for everybody. However, and well, of course, something that will never come again. So I just want to caution you and to explain that this particular special will never come again, not at this price. So the intensive program, which you can find at learnparisianfrenchonline.com, includes 19 hours personal one-on-one classes by Skype, another 2 hours for the pronunciation course, which is very, very short, and 19 video modules. But the bonus is where we're starting to talk business. The first 3 bonuses are included for everybody. This month, the April special contains or includes the 4th bonus, membership to Club Oh La La, which is an 8-week self-study program that prepares you to go in your trip to Paris and manage the French language confidently. It takes you from 0, or it can also improve your French. It is functional, so it is for a functional language as you would go into a trip, or you need to speak to someone to make conversation quickly in a matter of 8 weeks. It prepares you for that. But you and only you who are part of this challenge, and the way for me to know who you are is for you to go to parisianfrench.com and subscribe in order to qualify for double the number of Skype classes. So you will have a total of 40 Skype classes with me in this program, and only during this challenge. So this was it. I don't want to keep you too long. I just wanted to give you, homework, of course. So the homework that I would like to give you is, and you go and just replay this video. So for all the 4 situations, choose a couple of verbs and create the sentences for the 4 situations, and of course make something up for the rule of thumb. Now, very important, whenever you make these sentences for the homework for me, please always and only make sentences that make sense for your life. So don't just speak a verb and some nouns just to create these sentences. I would like you to create contexts that you can use in a possible conversation today. So the sentences should have a subject or something happening in there that either has happened in your life, is happening in your life, will happen in your life, or could, as in like you wish they would happen in your life. Important, because once you're done with this challenge, you will actually end up with a number of phrases that you can use right away in conversation, no matter the level that you're at right now in the French language. And I want to show you how easy it is to make conversation, even if you're a beginner, with all these apparently, or sometimes some people believe that these are a little more complicated parts of the French grammar, which they're not. So as soon as you're going to make these examples, this is the homework. I am looking forward to seeing you, with these phrases that you can use right away in conversation. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I will make another short video that will contain how to talk about transportation. So we go to Paris, we need to talk about transportation. And that is been requested in my Facebook group. How to get to the Facebook group? Well, you go to the Facebook page and you will find out the information about the Facebook group. I do believe that it's already here. Yes. So this is the group that you will, I'm going to show it to you like that. So in the Facebook page, Facebook group, you can find me, share this video. I'm looking forward to having you tomorrow. And tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to talk about transportation, some subject topic requested by someone in the group. So thank you so much again, and I am looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.